Cool.
Sounds good.
All right, and then I'll bring us in like 5 or 10. Oh wait, fuck.
That'll be a good intro.
No.
Why? What did you
36. No, I forget which episode number we're recording.
do? Oh, it's 36. Come on. We've only done 35 of these already.
This is another hot bit of YASEcast lore. I never fucking remember what episode we're recording. Hello and welcome to the YASEcast. Welcome back. It's good to see you. Real happy you're here. I am Lamo, still coming at you live from the base of Yase. With me this week, I got Morgan. I got Vince.
Hello.
And special guests. Today we got Riven. I don't know, Riven. I feel
Riven.
like there's more to your tag than just Riven, but I could be wrong. Please correct my dumb ass.
So it's Captain Riven, but that's simply for the reason that like Riven is taken on a lot of places. So
It's the sequel to Mist. So it's
it is a sequel to Mist.
Is it?
Yeah.
Jay,
Yeah, even the title of the game is Riven, the sequel to Mist, which like kind
Oh, wow.
of pompous. That's probably not the word I'm really looking for, but kind of like, all right, you're really gonna name yourself as the sequel to Mist?
I mean,
Not in,
that's what they're going with. I just
call it Mist 2 at that point.
but Mist 2 does exist.
Wait, what?
Wait,
There is
What?
a Mist 2.
No way, no fucking way. Really?
No, that's why it's so confusing. Is there's Riven, the sequel to Mist, but there's also Mist 2.
Hold up.
is it like a forking timeline thing?
I have no idea. I've never
if you
actually.
get the bad end, you go to Riven, and the good end is Mist 2?
No, the joke is that I'm actually not into Mist games, so I couldn't tell you.
Oh. Then why are you here? This is a Mist podcast.
Welcome to our Mist podcast.
I don't know.
Where we talk about
there's-
Mist, we talk about Riven, the sequel to Mist, we talk about Father John Misty, we talk about the Mist from Final Fantasy IX, especially the Mist Continent.
What about the Mist
Yeah,
from
that's-
Legend of Gaia?
We do talk about, yeah. We had that one experimental episode where we talked about Stephen King's The Fog.
Didn't work out.
Oh.
Oh no, it is the Mist. It is the Mist.
Oh shit, it
You've been
is.
listening to the Kingcast.
Ugh.
I'm very tired, and I've been listening to a lot of Stephen King podcasts.
2021's been a lot for all of us in our own unique ways.
Some of us spiral, some of us become VTubers. You know, it happens.
So it's become
It's just-
big
it's
Mist
just
heads.
Now everyone's gonna look into Mist lore.
The hot Mist lore. But anyway, this is episode 36. What a number. What a good-ass number. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here. I don't know why I started going into the outro. That's not correct. I wanted to thank everyone for being on. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm about 15 minutes too early to be doing that.
You take 1 week off, and this is where you
Yeah,
go?
this is what happens. Bad things, bad things. But anyway, I'm super excited to have you on, Riven. Been around with FGC for a while, out of the Detroit area, well-known Leo player. As a Leo player myself in Exard, one was like, hell yeah, get more Leos in the podcast. Real king of the jungle hours.
No.
But let's.
I mean, who else are you going to get on this podcast?
I'll find a way. I'll make a list of just Leo players. We'll figure it out. But
I
want
pack
to
episode.
I want to hear about what y'all have been up to for the past week. Morgan, what you been up to?
I played and finished the immaculate and wonderful game Getting Over It.
Oh, nice.
Which was, I actually beat it, which was, I'm still trying to sort out my feelings about it. It's a very weird game that on its sleeve owns that it is a very weird game that through its narration, so part of the premise is you are playing as a guy who is stuck in a pot. It is unknown whether or not he has a lower body, and you have to use this hammer to swing and launch yourself up a mountain, and then like through a bunch of different obstacles and themed environments. And it's notoriously difficult. It was a Rage compilation meme game years ago, which is very different than the experience that I had, which was actually very mindful. And every now and then the creator, I'm going to say it's Bennett Foley, but I've said his name like 5 different times. I think it's Foley.
It's not Bennett
if I got
Foddy?
your name wrong. It is Foddy.
Okay.
That's it.
So it's like, that's
why-
the title
there
of
we
the
go.
game.
Look, I only ever call it Getting Over It.
Fair,
So I don't, because
fair.
I started saying Foley, and then while I was streaming, and then when someone corrected me, I'd already learned it wrong. So he's Bennett Foley in my brain. We're like that. We're that close. I've been to the top of the mountain.
You got
But
Foley
it's cool,
brain.
and like his, I got full, like, you know, but my good friend Bennett Foddy will actually like chime in at periods throughout the game as you go and talk about his philosophy underlining it and how it's, you know, it's kind of a garbage game. It's not meant to really be fun. It's weird. It's a nod to this game called Sexy Hiking, which was itself like this very obtuse and strange game. And as you get higher and higher on the mountain, he kind of talks about like, oh yeah, you know, you must like have some kind of similarity with me if you're willing to keep doing this and keep putting up with this. And I don't know, it's a very weird experience when you reach the top of it, because it doesn't bill itself as like being challenging or rewarding. It's kind of this very weird mindful experience of getting this kind of narration about the philosophy of game development and like, does the game have to be fun to be good? What defines enjoyment? And it's like, is it weird that you enjoyed this game that was not deliberately made to be enjoyable? And how people consume and interact with media. It's a very, very interesting game. I'd encourage people maybe not to play it, but to at least go through and like listen to the narration track that goes along with it. And then maybe watch some anger compilations because they're funny. Like I definitely had some moments where I just like screamed over a fall, where it took me like 2 hours to get to a point. I lost all my progress and just cut the stream for the night.
Damn.
But it was, I don't know. I don't know if I'd recommend it. And like maybe that's something we'll talk about later. But like games that you're like, I've played this game and it was impactful. It might be one of the best games I've ever played. I wouldn't say it was fun, and I wouldn't say that I recommend it. And I don't know what that means about me or about the game.
But it's making
like
you think, and you're talking about it, so there's inherent value in that. And that in some way a game, whether or not it's good, but has made you think about it. And I think that's a really important thing.
That's kind of his philosophy on it, given the narration track, is that it might not be fun, it might not be a good game, but it's a game that you can interact with and like make you think about games as a whole and what are they supposed to be, and yeah, there's value in that. And that's really the kind of thing that I gravitate to when I think about my favorite games overall. It's not about the gameplay or anything I remember, it's did this game really make you feel something or think about something in a certain way. And this definitely hit that point. It's enough that I might even go back and play Sexy Hiking, but I've been told that that's even a worse experience.
Well, damn. It's funny because the way you talk about that, in some ways it reminds me of how I felt when I first played Firewatch years ago. because I finished the game Firewatch and I was like, you know what, I'm not really sure if I really liked it or not. There are sure a lot of things that I liked, but I had like qualms about it. But for the next like 2 or 3 weeks, I kept on thinking about it, and I kept trying to articulate my feelings, my thoughts on the game. I'm like, well, you know what? It's like it must be good in some sense of the word, because I have thought about this more than I've thought about the vast majority of other games. And it's made me think about the ways in which we tell narratives through games, and narrative in general, my feelings toward it. So
It's maybe, I mean, we're thinking about good, bad, and I'm already taking up a lot of time here, but I think maybe the word we're both looking for, it's evocative.
yes.
You think about it, it sticks with you, it's lingering, and that kind of exists apart from the spectrum of good and bad. You know, there are things that are bad but aren't evocative, and there are things that are bad or unfun, but they stick with you and you think about it, and there's some value in that. Like, not all games or media can hit that point. I've finished games that I've been told were great, and then a week later, I barely remember playing them.
Yeah.
And this one, I'm still thinking about it a week later. But I don't recommend it.
but do not play it. No.
Unless you're a VTuber, in which case you have to for hazing.
That is that the VTuber initiation, right?
It's you know, certain games especially will catch on, and it's a very small niche community. So it's like there's a dynamic that will sort of like spread throughout. So for a while it was getting over it, and eventually, like, it seems like most people end up getting over it at some point. Papers, Please is a big one right now. A Way Out is also really big for collaborations, which is a lot of fun. I actually started playing that this weekend with my girlfriend. We got like an hour or so into it, and it was a lot of fun. So I can imagine that being a really fun game to play with people. And I'm looking forward to the like, if not direct sequel, spiritual sequel, It Takes Two.
I'll have to look that up. I haven't heard anything about it, but
it was in
that sounds
the
pretty cool.
Game Awards show. It's kind of the same thing of like Portal 2, like work together, solve puzzles, do stuff.
All right.
It's kind of homoerotic. It's fun.
Oh, cool. Now I'm in.
Yeah.
Vince, what have you been up to this past week?
This dude Inoue, who is a Japanese Oro player, has been posting all this hot new tech on Twitter.
Ooh.
Can't do any of it, and it sucks. It's a lot of like charge partitioning stuff, and like that's not like too hard, but it's one of those things where like you really, you know, if you don't do charge partitioning stuff, you really gotta like grind it to get the muscle memory down. So I just like, it's just a lot of work, and I don't even play that character anymore.
Are you
But it's
full
awesome.
on a Ken main now?
I guess I just play Ken now.
Damn.
But I think it's really cool when games, speaking of games, you know, that always happens with popular old fighting games. Like 20 years later, some guy finds some hot new tech. And it's either, you know, at the very least, it's like really cool. But I recall a few years ago, some dude found like a new katana. Like, I think katana was already good in MK3 or something. But I don't know. Some guy on the internet found some new infinites with her, and it was really cool. There's a bunch of posting about it for a while. And I don't really play that game, but I read that it kind of like changed the tier list around, whatever that stuff was.
Really?
I think it's really cool.
Huh.
The people grind on old-ass games so hard that they can change the tier list 20 years later.
I respect the dedication, especially to finding new tech in old games. I think a lot of people kind of view it as in some cases, as a well that's run dry, but every once in a while to be surprised by something new coming out that kind of changes the landscape. And especially the fact that if it's games that are still being played by a community, that's actually rad as hell.
Yeah, and some games just have characters that lend themselves to that, like, you know, or just the way Oro and Urien work. There's a lot of room for creativity, and as much as I really, really dislike Guilty Gear, a lot of characters in that game are kind of built like that.
It's really fun to see. That's one of my favorite bits about seeing old games, is that I think there's this idea, particularly as we've kind of, God, I sound old, and way older than I have any right to be. I'm stealing Old Head Valor right now. But where, like, games were, back in the arcades, like, you had the game and that's what the game was, and there was no patches or anything, but people still developed tech for stuff. And like we see that even now. It's really cool to see that as I've been trying to learn more, paying more attention to older games, to see that like you don't have to always have a patch. You know, the tier list can be shaken up by someone like, hey, here's like a glitch or this thing or this sequence that I found in this game that hasn't been patched in 10 plus years that ends up shifting the meta in some way.
Shit's fucking dope.
Fighting games are cool,
Fighting
even though I hate them.
fighting games are cool. Hey,
They make me feel bad, but also they're very fun.
They're evocative.
they're evocative. There we go. That's the word.
Dude,
of the
don't play
podcast.
them, but also they're sick.
They give you the good serotonin and sometimes the bad at the same time.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Rick though, for beating Justin Wong in Third Strike, for Frosty Fastings.
Hell yeah.
Connection looks kind of
I lost
funky,
to that
bro.
I lost to that guy in a tournament once or twice. He's pretty good at that game.
He's pretty good, just a little bit.
I've never lost to Justin Wong in tournament. I've only ever beaten Justin Wong in tournament.
I meant Rick.
Oh. Never played Rick.
Now you have a goal. Now the goal is I have to meet Rick and then I'll beat him.
Now that
I-
actually reminds me of a very brief story that one year at Combo Breaker, I want to say it was like 2017. God, did I see? There was a Third Strike tournament. I want to say Justin entered but didn't play or something like
sounds
that.
about right.
So I was kind of like looking around for like, I knew Justin and Ricky Ortiz were there, and I think I ran into Ricky. I was like, "Hey yo, we got this Third Strike tournament. You want to play?" And Ricky was just like, "Fuck no, you should go find Justin."
Damn. Actually, shit, I want to say at the last Combo Breaker, 2019 at this point? Yeah. Combo Breaker 2019, I think I actually had a bracket that I was running for Third Strike that had either Justin or Ricky in it. I don't remember which, but yeah, regardless, they never fucking showed up. So my heart goes out to the people who have to seed those brackets for top players and stuff like that, who then never show up to their pools.
So yeah, Ricky or Justin, if you're listening to this, come guest on the podcast.
Come guest on the podcast. It's gonna make a joke about Justin's connection. I'm not gonna get in there. We're just gonna move on. We're gonna schmoove on.
Just always keep schmooving.
Always keep schmooving. Don't forget your ABCs. Always be schmooving. There's a silent. There's a silent C at the start of schmooving.
No.
So Riven, what
No.
what you been up to this past week?
So
be
I was playing Cyber Shadow, which just came out. I was playing Cyber Shadow, and then I've been playing it's by the developers of Fury. If you ever played that game, that's kind of like a boss rush.
Yeah.
It is called Haven, and it's this visual novel exploration style game where it's this couple on this stranded planet that ran away from their futuristic society because there's this character named the Matchmaker, and he essentially chooses your partner, and it seems to be this kind of weird reason why, and as you play the game, it kind of gets into a little bit more. And I think the game is interesting, but it's another one of those, and I think about it a lot, I don't think I could ever recommend it to a person.
Oh damn, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, like the writing is sometimes really good and sometimes very terrible. So it's got some issues, but it's at least interesting, and it's something that like Mel, my fiance, and Mel have done together, so it's pretty nice. But Cyber Shadow was cool. It was Ninja Gaiden.
All right. Yeah, I'm a little torn on it. Like I've played it a bit, and it hasn't. I think I was probably unfairly comparing it to The Messenger, and then was a little upset when it wasn't The Messenger.
So I did that, and I think it gets better once you have all your powers, because the last power makes the game feel closer to like how The Messenger has like amazingly like wild and fast movement. it gets that wild and fast movement
Okay.
at that point. But that's also like chapter 8 of 10 chapters. So by that point in time, you're already at the end of the game. But the whole point is that you're supposed to go back then, and all the levels have secrets that you can get once you have all your powers.
Okay. So I'll stick with it. I mean, I got it for free on Game Pass, so like there's no, I'm not out any money really for it.
Yeah, that was me. I just downloaded it on Game Pass, so I don't feel too bad about it. But I was a little let down with how hyped up the game was, and how I think I may have went in with the incorrect expectations of the messenger was sick, this could be like that, and then it was just not as fun.
Yeah. So I'll keep with it. And at that point, I'll kind of segue into what I've been doing the past week. So this is actually more of a past like day or two thing. But I ordered the Snackbox Micro a while back when it was in pre-orders. I got it. I was having some problems with it. Sent it back. I finally got it back in today, or yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And I've been messing around with it since then. Really fucking like it. The thing that I'm actually... The big thing that I really wanted it for, more than anything else, honestly, wasn't for fighting games. I actually wanted to use it because I'm dipping my toes back into Super Mario World ROM hacks, and there's a growing number of players who play on Hitbox. And for a few reasons that I thought was actually kind of neat. On SNES D-pads, there's a pretty common problem. One, as the little rubber pads wear down, those are kind of hard to replace because no one's really making those anymore. You can get some from China, but they're kind of a crapshoot as far as quality goes. So having something where you can easily replace the parts in and is nice. Two, where you always know exactly which direction you're getting. There's no, well, you're pressing left, but you're kind of on the higher part of the left arrow, so you got a diagonal by accident, and now you died. You know exactly what you're getting, stuff like that. So I've been going through and messing around with some easier hacks right now, just to kind of acclimate myself to the controller. At the same time, I'm still using a Super Nintendo pad and going and playing some of the harder hacks that I've already beaten just to kind of get the rust off. Because it's been like 2 months since I've actually played any Kaizo stuff. So kind of getting the rust off, then at the same time trying to learn a new controller method. So it's been a lot, but it's been also a lot of fun. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Are you thinking about streaming any of those as you get back into them? Because I just really enjoyed when you would
Probably not.
I always find that's cool. I think Kaizo stuff is really interesting to watch. It's
yeah,
like,
and that's what I do at work instead of working. Just kidding. And Mike, if you're listening,
always working.
You know,
always
yeah,
working.
I'm working. I have it in the background. I just listen to it. But yeah, I don't know. I did a bunch of streaming in 2020 and even a little bit earlier before then. I don't think it's my thing. I don't enjoy it too much.
I don't think it's my thing either.
But yeah, I don't expect still to really be kind of picking up streaming again anytime soon. But I am really enjoying doing this though. And I'm gonna do some recording of like I'm going for speed runs again. Maybe that's something that I'll do. That, or you might, if I'm doing like a ROM hack races every Saturday night on twitch.tv/romhackraces. There's a blind Kaizo ROM hack race where blind, so no one's seen the level before, no one's been able to practice it. And you race it, and the people who are doing that stream kind of will pull from the people who are streaming it and put them up on one like big main stream where there's commentary and chat and all that fun stuff. But aside from that, I don't see myself going back. But Kaizo is a lot of fun. Getting back, I guess, to the point. If anyone's interested in that, by all means, feel free to hit me up on Twitter. Because I am more than happy to kind of point you in the right direction if that's something anyone wants to get started in. Doesn't really know where to go.
I might hit you up.
All right.
I'll have to think about it. I don't know if Kaizo is my thing, but it might hit that getting over it itch of like very difficult, very challenging, but like if you do feel kind of nice, and there's a very high skill ceiling to it.
And if nothing else, there's also just a lot of really good Super Mario World ROM hacks I could point in the direction of also that aren't maybe in that quite Kaizo style, but are kind of like Kaizo adjacent. There's a lot of actually really good stuff in that area. I have more than a couple recommendations for that sort of thing.
More than a couple?
More than a couple.
As in several?
Listen, I'm not going to put any words on it. I'm not going to put words in my mouth, but maybe.
Oh damn.
Anyway, we got in. We put out on Twitter saying, hey, we're going to have Captain Riven on. Hit us up with some questions. We have taken those down. We actually have some really good ones. We got y'all sent us a lot too, which I'm very happy about. So if y'all are ready, I kind of want to go down this list. The first one I actually have is one, no joke, that I put in a couple hours ago. I know you really like. I know you're a big lemonade fan.
Yeah.
And I know it's because you have told me this within the past 24 hours, I believe. Which is a good, which is a good way to know something, I guess. Someone told me today that mixing coffee and lemonade is a thing. I want to say it was someone in the Discord. I want to say it might have been Kara.
It was Kara.
Lemonade and coffee. Is this a thing that you know about? First of all, because I just need to talk about this with somebody.
I know nothing about this. This is new to me.
Okay.
Just trying to process this now.
I'm trying to figure out what that flavor would be.
I know lemonade and iced tea.
Lemonade and iced tea. That's great. Love an Arnold Palmer. There is nothing wrong with an Arnold Palmer. But I've never. Coffee sounds dangerous.
I don't know. Like, I could see it being good. Like, you get a balance of, like, the bitter and the sweet. Like, how is that really that much different than an iced tea?
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to put it in my body.
I'm willing to give it a shot.
I assume you have to have the coffee more or less, like, black. You can't be mixing, like, cream in it, too, because then...
Yeah.
No.
I mean, ain't nobody stopping you.
No. I am. Yes. I will do not do this to yourself. And I think they recommended cold brew as well. Yeah, cold brew.
Ooh, that actually could be really
Right?
nice. Like a low acidity cold brew and a little bit of lemonade. We might. I'm gonna say
have to
coffee and lemonade.
We would have to report back on this next week.
This is going to be homework.
Yeah.
Yes.
It sounds better the more I'm hearing about it versus my initial take.
Yeah.
I'm
The
thinking it
cold
would
brew
be like
makes
an
it
Arnold
sound
Palmer.
believable.
Yeah, with cold brew. No, I would not pop a hot pot of Joe in with my lemonade. I
No,
can't.
just like a cold brew coffee and maybe like a little diluted cold brew concentrate with some lemonade. Like, that sounds really nice, actually, as like an afternoon pick-me-up. I'm down for this. I was hesitant, but I've been converted. Thank you.
We're gonna have to try that shit.
Well, once you try that, you have to try the super secret brew that she mentioned immediately after grapefruit juice, lemonade, and coffee.
Wait, hold on. That one was all three. I thought it was just.
Oh,
I thought that was just lemonade and
they're
grapefruit.
spitting.
Well, there ain't no caffeine in lemonade, so when she said the something grapefruit and caffeine, I assumed that was all of it with coffee.
Whoa.
I guess we could check in, but I'm pretty sure that was the thing.
We're gonna have to do the taste
We might need to
test.
check in with them and get some confirmation, but I'd be willing to try that too. That feels like, I don't know, grapefruit is like, it's so acidic. I don't know.
It's so bitter.
It sounds dangerous, but then the lemonade could balance it out, though.
We're gonna have to do some
Oh.
science.
Were you about to say that?
So the other thing is, what type of lemonade are you using for this?
What do you mean?
Because like, so
What's your
there's different qualities of lemonade, and that's what also will change this. Where like, if you're just getting like a Minute Maid lemonade, it's just gonna be like really sugary and not have like good flavor. Versus if you were to get like a Kirkland organic lemonade, it'll be a little more like fleshed out.
That's that good shit. Because that's the shit that I was like, you know what? I've gotten this. I'm not gonna go back to anything else. So when you were like types of lemonade, I was like, there's only one type, and it's the type that I get at Costco. Because that shit fucking slaps.
That's what I was thinking too. Of like, not like an overly sweet lemonade, but something that's like, it would add some dimension to the coffee. And I've done weirder stuff with coffee. I drink seltzer water and coffee.
That's
like,
kind of normal.
Is
I've
it?
heard that before. I've
Usually-
heard that before. That's a thing.
I always get weird looks when I say that, but like, a little bit of cold brew concentrate,
Yeah.
like a lime LaCroix or something, is actually very nice.
I'd fuck with it.
It's good.
This is the most Morgan drink, by the way.
Also, I'm throwing it out there. My go-to drink of last summer was that Kirkland lemonade with vodka. Just that. Just get you like a nice vodka that doesn't like have some shitty taste to it. Just mix it with a little bit of lemonade. You're golden.
It's nice.
We were going some of the types of lemonade, and then I heard Kirkland. I was like, nah, that's it.
And you
That's
said,
it. I'm fucking going. I'm going to the goddamn moon.
you're off the goop.
The
Alright.
the Kirkland brand is my go-to at all times.
Hell yeah.
Is I think the pinnacle of lemonade technology.
Will it be at your wedding?
It might be.
Will there be a Kirkland like lemonade fountain at your wedding?
If
Can I count on that?
if we can get Kirkland to contact us, we can work out a deal. We'll have a Final Fantasy 14 like ice sculpture with like lemonade around it.
Yo.
Well, for all Kirkland representatives listening to the pod, hit up at Captain Riven on Twitter for the sponsorship.
YASEcast has its fingers on a lot of different projects. Costco. No, we don't know any people. I wish we did.
We're diversifying. You never know. You
I
never
would
know.
even be
If
happy
Costco-
with the Costco hot dog hookup.
What I'm saying is that I have a wedding planned. If they want to get on the ground floor sponsoring my wedding, I am more than happy to have that be done.
Sponsor this union.
Sponsor it, Costco. We have so many. We're gonna move on because we have a lot of questions. And that wasn't even a question. That was just me being like, "Hey, y'all heard this shit?"
I mean, that was a question, but
That
all right,
was a
next question.
I guess. Yeah. What game would you want to erase from your brain and experience fresh all over again?
Is this just aimed at me or
This
everyone?
is. I mean, I was asked
Mostly
of
you.
you, but I mean,
Yeah.
we can definitely chip in our answers too.
Because this question always gets asked a lot, and I see people respond to it in different ways. And I know like Dark Souls is always like the one that people always say, and I feel like the answer should be a game that has like a really strong emotional response that you want that emotional response like again. And the only game I can think of is Soul Sacrifice for the Vita, where the entire time you play it, like how the narrator goes through the entire story, it pulls you in, and the ending had such like strong emotional moments the entire time. I was like, that'd be it for me. I know I'm picking a game no one played.
No, that's fine, and I'm glad that you said it. One, I have not played it, but two, I'm sick of hearing everyone answer that with Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. That being said, my answer is Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, because I would love to experience that story for the first time all over again, and just the feeling of, the idea of that game slowly opening, or rather me slowly realizing how open-ended that game can be. Morg, Vince, y'all got an answer?
Getting over it, because it's still on my brain.
Hella.
The other one is another game that I'm streaming now, JJ Macafeld and the Island of Lost Memories. They're both games that have, getting over it is more of a skill thing. The challenge, like the speed run for the game is like 2 minutes.
Damn.
And once you've played it, it gets dramatically easier. It took me like 13 something hours to beat it the first time. I could probably beat it in under 2 hours now. And then eventually it seems like, from what I can see, the average, once people really get into it, it's like 10 minutes. So, which when you get there, it's cool to get the proficiency, but you don't get the journey to that proficiency ever again. And JJ Macafeld is, I'm revisiting it now. I think I've lived enough life that it's worth revisiting it, but there is a revelation at the end of that game that it just hit me in the chest. The first time I played it, I spent the last hour of the game, like after sort of all the pieces have come into play and I figured out that twist, I yomied it a little bit ahead of time.
Damn.
And just could not stop crying. It was such an emotionally impactful experience, and I'm curious to see what it'll be like to revisit that, especially now that I'm playing through the game, and now I can see the foreshadowing that I had missed beforehand.
Vince, you got anything or not?
I don't really. I mean, not to dunk on anybody, but I don't really see the appeal personally.
That's a nah.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
Like, this is more book related, but you know, when you read or play things at certain times in your life, like it hits a certain way, and I kind of get why people are like, oh, you know, I wish I could re-experience that, but like you really won't. I mean, probably, maybe you would. Most of the time, you won't. I read Catcher in the Rye in high school, as you do, and I was like, this book is sick. And I thought it was really good for a really long time. And then I reread it when I was like in my like late 20s or something. I was like 28 or something. And I was like, damn, this book sucks. I fucking hate this kid.
I was going to say, yeah, you read, you're like, goddamn, Holden Caulfield sucks ass.
Like, yeah, just
he
like,
do
You do be
ass,
sucking
though.
ass, though.
I'm just like, fucking deal with anything in your life, bro. Come on. But,
No, he has to like narrate about it and then
oh
feel
my
sorry for
God.
himself.
It's the worst.
But you know, so like, I don't know. Like, if I had never read it, would I have hated him? Would I have liked him? Would I have gotten to experience the change in feelings over it? You know. So like, I don't know. It's just I feel it is not for me.
That's valid. I respect it. This one's pretty Riven centric. I don't think the rest of us can kind of answer this one. Top 5 shithead Michigan AFGC moments. You don't have to give 5. You don't even have to give 1 if you don't want to, but I can't not bring it up.
So they're like Michigan AFGC like related.
Okay.
There's a couple really strong ones. My favorite might be from Frosty Fausting 2019 or 2020. And it was for the team tournament. So there's another Michigan player. He goes by the tag X, and he's switched mains in Guilty Gear easily like a dozen times. But we decided to team up for the team tournament under the name Detroit Lions, and we were both going to play Leo. That was our idea.
Wow.
I love it.
It was really strong when one of our first opponents asked, "Why are you guys called the Detroit Lions?" I was like, "Oh, we're from Michigan and we're both playing Leo." And he just looked at us for a bit. I was like, "We have a really bad NFL team. Don't worry about it." But what happened was we apparently only looked at the Smash GG rules and not the Frosty Fausting Pages rules. And you're not allowed to have 2 of the same character on your team.
Oh, fuck.
And I didn't think anything of it since it was on the Smash GG rules. So we played our first opponent, and we didn't know who to go first, and Xavier let me go first, which was good. So we play. I beat my first opponent. Then it's Waseda style, so we then...
Okay, so you
Xavier.
stayed on, essentially.
Yeah. Oh, no, Waseda's, we switch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he picks Leo and plays, like, the first round. And then someone's like, hey, they're cheating. They can't have 2 of the same character. So we had to have a judge come over, and we were like, oh, it was on Smash GG, and they're like, oh, it's on the Frosty Fausting's pages. So we got to redo the entire match. Like, they don't DQ us or anything. We just have to redo the match. And the person behind me, who's just like spectating, there's someone who's just like, man, that sucks. He can't pick his main. And in my brain, I'm just like, what are you even talking about? That's not even his main. Like, what? I'm not even fazed by this at all. I'm just like, well, it's fine. Like, it doesn't matter. He's just going to pick a different character and win. So he didn't just goes to Raven, which is a character he played for easily like a year and a half, and then proceeds to win.
That's fucking funny.
And it was really strong, and I feel bad for the other team because the one player was super upset because he played like a Leo for one round and then had to readjust to then how Raven was playing. But it was just a funny moment where everyone around us was like, your teammate doesn't have their character. That sucks. Are you guys going to be okay? I'm like, what are you
Lo and
talking
behold,
about?
Leo is not his character at all.
Like, that's like that was like more of a joke than anything. Yeah.
Actually, now that we are following the rules, we're actually much stronger than we were before.
Yeah, what was so funny was I didn't think it would be a problem because if we pick double Leo, we're putting ourselves at like a huge disadvantage because we like lose the same matchups. You're not covering each other's matchups. But that'll teach me. I gotta read both the rule pages since tournaments don't always have them updated on both. So
Lesson learned.
lesson learned. A lot of the other Michigan FGC stuff is just, if you ever see me or any other Michigan member posting reaction images of our faces, that's all of that is just shitheaded Michigan FGC moments.
I'm legitimately jealous of that. That's something that your scene does/has in their community of like, yeah, we have a whole bunch of fucking dumbass reaction pictures of each other and we're just gonna crop things out and just use them all the fucking time. And I'm like, damn, that is absolutely a strong ass community to have that sort of vibe going on.
We're in luck.
Michigan is built different.
Be it good or bad, yeah. We're in luck because Jay is incredibly photogenic, and so is White Beast. So between those two,
So are you.
I'm okay.
No. No downplaying on this podcast.
Okay, I'm pretty alright. Yeah, but those two have like so many quality pictures. So many good
I mean, never
ones.
mind. Y'all also have Gordon.
Gourds are old.
Miller's got some good photos floating around.
Miller does
there.
have some good.
Yeah.
Miller shows up.
Gage.
Gage is a very strong powerhouse. Yeah, we have so many, and we've had to delete some over the years where like people have left the scene and they're no longer like a part of the camera roll, but there's still so many powerful ones.
Truly powerful. I'm actually gonna skip over my question maybe, in the interest of time, because I'm like, damn, we've been recording for 40 minutes. We are not even like a third of the way through questions. We got a lot.
People need to know.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with what's your favorite video game mascot characters/critters?
That one's really obvious. I feel if people know me, but like Kirby, Mega Man, was a huge fan of Sonic, still am, but it's fallen to the wayside a little bit now. And then Bomberman was another big one as a kid.
Bomberman doesn't get enough respect, I feel like.
I love Bomberman, and that was one of the characters I always dreamed of, like, please put him in Smash. I just want to play as Bomberman in Smash. Never made it in.
No.
He instead made it into a really bad PS2 fighting game that involved Bomberman, Optimus Prime, 2 characters from G.I. Joe, and the Beyblade Kid.
What?
I don't remember
so
what
many
this fighting game
emotions.
is. I played it at... I don't know if I played it at Jay's or if I played it with a different friend, but it's just a ragtag group of, like, sponsored, like, toy companies putting fighting game characters in.
This
But
sounds
yeah.
like a Mugen.
It's... You'd think that, but they're 3D models, so it's even more cursed. Yeah, Beyblade Kid is probably like the worst character in the game, but Optimus Prime is pretty good.
Optimus Prime, giant transforming robot. He's okay.
He's okay.
What do you
He
know? He's good at fighting.
Yeah, he essentially has like a command roll where he turns into a truck again, and he just like hits half the screen. So
Yo, damn.
it's pretty good.
That's fucked up.
Only pretty good.
Only pretty
Pretty
good.
good.
It's because the G.I. Joe characters are actually like top tier.
Damn. They paid
Yeah.
they paid more money, so their characters are better. I see how it is.
They did get 2 G.I. Joe characters in compared to everyone else getting like maybe 1.
That's
so
true. There's something going on there.
yeah.
Moving on. Top 5 mechs.
This one I change it anytime I think of like new mechs.
That's
but, like,
valid, and that's probably what I would do too, honestly.
My number 1 that will probably never change is Jehudi from Zone of the Enders.
All right, respect it.
I'm a really big fan of Star Build Strike from Build Fighters. I really like Red 5 from Majestic Prince, even though I don't think the series is good. I just think Red 5 is a cool mech. Kirby's Robobot armor is dope.
It is very good.
If we count that as mech
Yeah,
armor,
yeah.
It's mech.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Code Geass, I actually really like the Gurren Mark II, the one that Colin pilots, because it's
Oh, is it-
asymmetrical, where it has like the really big bionic arm.
Oh yeah, it's got the big claw hand, right?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
the crab hand.
That's pretty
Yeah.
sick.
A big fan. I just like the
That's a
crab
good
hand.
choice.
Yeah.
I think the Gurren flies under my radar a lot when I think about that question, but it is really sick, and I love the asymmetric design. It's
Yeah.
also why I really like what is it, Boundock and
Yeah, Boundock.
Gundam. Yeah,
Boundock. People also really like the Wing Gundam Fenice build fighters because it's asymmetrical, and it has like the cape on one side and has all the wings like put on one side.
Gundam Rose from the classic G Gundam.
Rose Gundam. It's
Speaking
got the
of-
rose funnels.
Chef's kiss for G Gundam, the best Gundam series, hands down. I'll
They
die
have
by
Gundam
those
horses.
words.
All right, you
I
might.
was gonna say you might be the one to make me die for those words.
Look, can we really call a Gundam bad if it actually let a real horse pilot a mobile suit?
No, we
Mobile
can't.
horse?
Actually.
Yeah.
See, the number one, I mean, probably not number one, but the one thing I'm always hoping to hear whenever there's any, like, here's my favorite, mechs, my favorite big robots. I always hold out hope for someone who loves the Megaduce from Big O. Because,
Megaduce is really good.
yeah, I love the design of not only of the Megaduce, but I mean a lot of the mechs in that show, and just the art style of that show in general, just so different from a lot of what else is out there.
What if we had Art Deco robots?
What if?
And then that's what it is.
Hell yeah, why not? Go nuts.
I'm a big fan, but I also love when the negotiator gets into the Big O and it just says cast in the name of God, ye not guilty.
Ye not guilty.
It's
we should-
gets me fucking hyped.
Look forward to our Big O retrospective.
It's a
podcast.
good ass show. I love Big O.
It is.
It's
Welcome. Thank you for listening to our Big O retrospective segment.
hell yeah.
It is a good ass show.
Welcome to Big Y.
Many people are asking that question. Big Y.
That show definitely as a kid made me ask a lot of questions. And then as I got older, I was just like, doesn't matter, it was good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right, moving on. Favorite moment either playing in bracket or observing live in person, any game or event.
There's a couple, I think, for that. In terms of spectating, at Otaku, I think it was 2019. In pools, White Beast and Moondoggy had to play. Ooh. And any point in time they've ever had to play each other, it is
good. It's good.
so good. And obviously White Beast is my homie.
Yeah.
Moondoggy always makes me want to root for him halfway during the match because he does like the sickest thing. I'm just like, oh no, this is bad.
Yeah, because I taught him how to play the game.
You taught him very well.
I taught him how to play the game. Yeah, I taught him to do 4 bandit bringers at block string.
But anytime they play, it is so good to watch. So good. If ever they're in pools, it's sad to see them fight, but also I'm like, there's gonna be some good stuff.
And it always happens.
Yeah.
Like, it's happened enough times where it's like, someone's making this happen.
Yeah, it's happened at least twice, and I think both times were at Otaku's.
Damn.
Yeah.
I want to say it was 3.
Oh. We gotta find the brackets.
We got to find the lore. Someone get Curly W in here.
Someone get the
Someone
lore.
get Max.
Yeah. The only other time I think, like, for my favorite time in bracket was Combo Breaker. Was it Combo Breaker 29? No, it was Otaku 2018. I had such a really good run where I beat all these players who I had lost to previously, like, in a row. So it was a really cool moment where all these players I had lost to in bracket in previous tournaments, I beat them all like 4 in a row, back to back.
Damn.
And I was like, oh, this might be the tournament I make top 16. And then I ran into Peppery and then it just stopped.
Well.
Yeah, it
Peppery.
happens.
Yeah.
It was a really good run though for me. It was like the first tournament where I was like, oh, I'm thinking the way I should be thinking when playing this game. It's really good.
I miss tournaments. God damn, I miss tournaments so much.
When I saw this question asked, I was like, I should look up like brackets and try to remember like what were like the cool tournaments I liked. And then I just ended up being like, really want to go to see my friends.
Uh-huh. I want to play games. I want to be a shithead with my friends. And then I just want to be a general shithead in other ways yet to be determined.
Yeah.
All right. We have a very this one's not even a question as much as a statement. Just give us the lemonade tier list.
Lemonade too. So, as I've already talked about,
Yeah.
Kirkland Organic Lemonade. Please contact me, Costco.
It's up there. It's at the top.
You can get in on the wedding. Yeah, that's top tier.
Yeah.
That is the Elder God tier of lemonades. Nothing's stopping it. Everything in between that is kind of whatever. I'll be real. Like the quality changes, but I think Wendy's actually has a pretty good lemonade.
Strong.
I think Wendy's has a strong lemonade. I think I mentioned Minute Maid. That's like a throwaway lemonade.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty bottom tier.
Is Minute Maid better or worse than like the powdered mix you can get? Or is it right on par?
It might be worse or might be on par.
Aren't they basically the same thing?
Yeah, like they're not anything special.
At least with the powdered, you can like, hey, you know what? This doesn't have enough flavor. I can put in a little more. But
Yeah, you can't do much with Minute Maid. I will say, Olga's Restaurants. This is a really weird one. Olga's Restaurants used to be known for having really good lemonade, and then eventually they switched over to some. I don't know if it's like a new distributor or how they distribute sugar in it or whatever. The lemonade now just tastes terrible. But for a long time, they were known for actually having like really good like lemonade that they would offer.
Lemonade is fucking overlooked as a drink. I feel like it's something that most people probably had a bunch of when they were kids, and then for a while it's just like they don't even consider it. Like it's not even an option on their brains. Like skee ball. Skee ball is something you probably enjoyed as a kid and then you just fucking forgot about. But you go back to skee ball and you're like, wow, actually skee ball rips ass. This game fucking owns.
I feel like so the thing with barrier for people is like skee ball can make a comeback because it's in barcades. People drink and they don't care, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you know this is fine. I'm like inebriated. I'm gonna play skee ball." But you don't get that same. So what we actually know,
skee ball's a dangerous barcade game. I don't want drunk people rolling that shit.
I live on the edge, but you might have been onto something with the vodka lemonade cocktails. I think we can reintroduce and reinvent lemonade for an adult audience.
We convince them that it's an amazing mixer, so that way they get the taste.
It is an amazing mixer, though. Like, we're not lying to them.
Lemonade?
We're not lying to them, but they're not thinking about it as a mixer.
True.
Because they're thinking about
It's like-
different mixers.
It's like how LaCroix is a great mixer.
How about lemonade and Di Serono? I feel like there might be something there, but I don't know. That might just
you could just make people lemon drops.
Also true.
also true.
Which is not too far off of your vodka and lemonade. I mean, that is like...
I haven't
That's what
had
it
a
is.
lemon drop since a friend snuck me into a bar when I was 18.
Nice.
I'm sure.
It sounds like an 18-year-old
I'm
child.
sure. Yeah,
Hell
we went to
yeah.
drink in a very sketchy neighborhood, and someone really came up to me. and was like, "Bro, I'm glad you're here." He's like, they started talking. Apparently, he knew my buddy, and they're really good friends. He's like, "Come on." He's like, "I bought 3 lemon drops to give one each." I'm like, "Okay, sure thing."
One of my first drinking experiences was when I showed up to somebody's party and somebody brought ingredients for lemon drops, and we had a good time and then a very bad time.
Uh-oh.
As one does.
Yeah, it do be that way.
It do be that way
Sometimes
sometimes.
it really do. All right, we have a top 5 Idolmaster characters across all franchises. Asked by our very own Morgan.
So this
It's an
one
important
was
question that the many people want to know.
this
Many
one was actually difficult that I had to separate
Yeah, talk
765 and then Cinderella Girls and then work from there.
Mm.
Because I don't know enough about Shiny Stars. I don't.
Not even Side M.
I haven't actually gone into Side M. That's like the one series I haven't actually like touched. It's just the main 2, or 765 and Cinderella Girls.
All right. Drop
But
the deets. Drop it.
Drop it.
It's gonna be for sure Takane,
All right.
Ronko.
Yeah.
So those 2 are like my guaranteed. Everything past this is where it gets really hard. probably at this point it'd be like Makoto, Anastasia, and then
You're just naming all the silver-haired girls.
yeah, no, that's my weakness. I don't know. It's tough between then like Chihaya or Mika.
Strong list.
Yeah, but there's still like honorable mentions would be like Kaede, Rin, Hikaru, who always gets like left, but she's a Super Sentai idol. She's really good. She just wants to be a hero. Very good character.
I know nothing. I have not yet
That's,
started my idol watching.
Oh, look forward to this.
I'm
This is
still
gonna be
torn
fun.
between like I've heard really good things about Idolmaster season 1, but I've also like Love Live has Snow Halation.
You
So,
can watch.
I
both.
mean,
Yeah.
just watch them
Holy-
both.
Just watch them both.
I've mentioned this in private, but I've definitely gotten into some really stupid arguments with people where like they're a big fan of one of those series and they just feel the need to dunk on
Oh,
the
yeah,
other.
fuck
but
that.
like they're both fine. I think like personally, I think Idolmaster is a lot better, but like Love Live is fine. It's not really that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's we'll talk more about this on probably a different pod, but I am on the same. I actually think that the first Idolmaster anime is genuinely a extremely good show, even apart from all the idol bullshit. It's just very well made. The characters are good. It's fun. Ready is a banger, all-time banger of an opening.
Its presentation for the show is very good, but the way it handles all the character and their growths and their arcs is very, very good, even by like anime standards, where like
Damn.
characters actually get time to be fleshed out versus like one character's
I
left to
kind
the
of-
side and whatever.
I kind of think that's the weakest part about the show, actually, because it has like I really like that show, but like it has all these individual character episodes, you know. And at least I found that like by the time you get to the end and you're like doing the Hanukkah episodes, like Takane will come in and I'm kind of like, who the fuck is this girl again? Like I haven't seen this girl for like 12 episodes.
Sorry, I'm
But
looking
those
at,
individual
I'm
character
looking at
episodes are very
Idolmaster
good.
anime. I'm like, so I just want to start with. It's just called The Idolmaster. That's it. That's what I'm starting.
It's called the
Yeah.
Idolmaster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah,
just whatever you do, just don't watch Xenoglacia. That's just don't do that.
Okay.
Ignore that. Doesn't exist.
It's
Yeah,
like
don't do
RoboCop 3. It's not real. Ignore it.
It's not real. Can't hurt you.
Good to know. Sorry, I'll.
RoboCop 3 definitely can't hurt you.
RoboCop 3 has hurt me already. Oh, okay. I might, maybe I'll start that this weekend, or maybe even like before the weekend. So I want to at least get a couple episodes under my belt, so I can do the Idolmaster check-in next week.
You could crank it out in a weekend. It's not that long.
Well, I also
And if
I
you-
also see I somehow roped my girlfriend into watching it with me, so it's also gonna be a matter of, you know, does she want to watch the whole thing an entire weekend? Which maybe not. I don't know.
Is she ready? Is she a lady? Jimayo. Whatever.
Okay.
You'll understand when you watch, and then for years later, you'll be like, in moments in your life, you'll be like, "I'm ready. I'm a lady." Hajimeyo.
Okay.
What a
That's
banger.
how- That's how I came out to some people as trans. Are you ready? I'm a lady.
Hand motion.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Love it. I unironically, wholeheartedly, absolutely love it. Okay, we have one last question, and we did have to cut a couple questions so we don't run too late here tonight. But this is kind of really serendipitous because it's kind of the topic that I wanted to have for our discussion tonight. So I feel like we can kind of sneak this in at the end. We can all get a tiny bit of a round table here. But tell us about one or a couple, you know, not even rare games, just a couple of games you own or maybe have played that are just that are special for whatever reason. I know originally we kind of talked about wanting to talk about so great with words tonight. We kind of want to dive into the topic of games that are kind of more out there or stranger or weird and just, you know, how cool they can be, or just what hasn't worked out but was maybe such a cool idea. And I felt this question was actually in kind of that same vein. So I do wanna toss this one to you first, Riven.
Yeah. So for games that are special to me, it's actually Mega Man X. I'll explain it, but when I got a Super Nintendo, I got a Super Nintendo very late in the Super Nintendo life cycle, like when the Nintendo 64 was already a thing. And I didn't get any games for it. My sister went out and made sure I got a game, so she took me to Toys R Us and we got Mega Man X. So like I still have that cart, and it's still very special to me just because it was a gift that she bought of her own money, and it's not like she was big ballin' at the time. So it's a very special game to me. But for weird games, boy, let me tell you about some weird stuff.
Hell yeah.
There's a Game Boy Color game called Robopon that uses your remote control.
Wait, what do you mean?
So-
what do you mean by your remote control?
So it's a Game Boy Color game,
Yeah.
and it has like an infrared reader on itself. Like I know how the Game
No
Boy Color had its own
fucking
infrared
way.
reader,
You
but
mean
the
like-
cartridge actually had a special one.
Like you mean remote control, like for your TV?
Like your TV, like a CRT remote control, and you could use it to heal your Robopon. The game was Pokemon,
Okay.
but they were all supposed to be robot-like animals.
Yeah.
So like the main character is like this robot bunny with like a machine gun on its arm, and you could heal your Robopon with like a remote control. You'd point it at your controller and like you'd sync it.
That's nuts. Holy shit.
Yeah. Oh, we actually got it in America. The cartridge looks super weird when you look at it. But there's some weird stuff. There's like Vib Ribbon, which Sony teases every now and then
They're
does nothing
never going
with.
to do anything with, which makes me
Yeah,
incredibly
we're-
sad.
Yeah, procedurally generated platforming segments based on the music CDs you put in your PS1.
And I'll have like vector graphics too, so it had that super cool, unique style. I love that
Yeah.
shit. Man, I feel like every time someone mentions Vib Ribbon, someone else is going to get sad because they're like, "Man, Vib Ribbon." And that's it.
It's
Never happening.
It's definitely a mood where you're like, Vib Ribbon's sick, and then you're like, oh right, we'll never get anything quite like that ever again.
Mm-hmm. Big Mega Man legend. Mega Man Volnut is never coming back from the moon. Vibes.
It's that one hurts because we did get Mega Man Volnut and Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, which was years after Mega Man Legends 2,
Yeah.
and then, Capcom's doing its own thing. There was actually I don't know, I was just going to throw out one more weird one.
Go for
There's a Godzilla Dreamcast game that had its own custom VMUs because you could raise Godzilla monsters as Tamagotchis on it, and then you could like sync with other people, but it was super mean because if your Tamagotchi Godzilla monster beat your others, it would delete their save data.
Yo,
Oh, that's sick.
I think I've actually
It's like-
seen those VMUs
It's super,
too. But
it's super
like,
savage.
That's damn. That's
Yeah.
fucked up. I love it.
It's a very play for keeps game.
That's so fucked up. God damn. VMUs
Yo.
were cool. VMUs need to come back. Bring back VMUs.
Yeah.
That was a cool ass trend.
VMUs and Street Pass.
Yeah.
Nintendo, bring
Street
back
Pass
Street
is
Pass.
really
Street
good.
Pass rules.
Like Street Pass in app form.
Yeah.
Like just get an app on your phone. You just like walk around. You pass people that also have the app. It'd be fun.
It'd be fun. That would drain the fuck out of your battery though.
Yeah,
But it'd be worth it.
Yeah, but think about the connection. It might be the closest we will ever get to that first week of Pokemon
That's
Go
true.
again.
Bring back fucking PictoChat. Put that on the Switch. Bring back PictoChat. I love. No joke. Some of my favorite like times like being in conventions was like, all right, I'm waiting in line. I'm just gonna open up PictoChat on my DS, and yeah, okay, there's a bunch of dicks. Everyone's drawing dicks. Fine, cool, let's do it. But yeah, man, fucking PictoChat ruled. I miss weird little things like that. Morgan, what
I
do
was
you?
a big fan of.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just to say I was a big fan of like the 90s to 2000s era of video game IPs where everyone was chasing like character mascot ideas or just like weird stuff that you're just like, I don't know, this sounds cool,
Yeah.
and no one questioned it. Like,
Everyone wanted to
I
be
don't
the hot
know.
new breakthrough IP.
Yeah. Like, I don't know why Squaresoft was like, we're going to make this game called Brave Fencer Musashi. And then clearly there was a point where they're like, how do we sell this game? I don't know, put a Final Fantasy VIII demo with it. And that was like the selling point?
That's how Zone of the Enders was.
Yeah.
You know?
Had a Metal Gear Solid 2 demo.
Mm-hmm. And then what was... Oh, fuck. What was it? Crackdown on the 360 had a demo for Halo 3 if you bought it. So it led to people buying the fuck out of Crackdown and then immediately selling it back to GameStop, which led to there being a lot of $5 copies of Crackdown floating around. So that's like the first game I bought when I got a 360. I was like, yo, wait a minute, this game fucking owns.
I heard it was fun. The only game I can think of that's like in that kind of peripheral, kind of weird game that I have that experience with is Scan Command Jurassic Park, if anyone remembers that or was aware of it. So Scan Command Jurassic Park was a game that came with this peripheral, and the gimmick was you scanned barcodes with it, which you would then connect to your computer via a USB and this giant peripheral, and then it would convert those barcodes into DNA chunks, and each dinosaur that you had like almost like a Tetris grid of a different shape, and you would slot DNA into it and try to get patterns and everything.
Yo.
And then it would power up your dino, and then you would go and you would have it fight other dinosaurs as you kind of went around the island. And the game is sick as hell, at least to my brain, of loving dinosaurs and loving dinosaurs fighting. I think Jurassic Park Warpath, underrated fighting game classic. But it's a really cool thing. It had this weird peripheral to it, and kind of, again, going back to things being evocative. I remember going around, scanning everything in the house with my younger brother, trying to like get the DNA to get the powerful dinos and stuff, and like that kind of stuff always sticks with me. So it was weird. I don't think I'd ever want to go back to it, and it was actually probably a bad game. But you know what?
It's such a cool idea.
It lives in my memory. Yeah, it's the memory that's
and you gotta do. You're literally doing things for the game in real life, and anything that has that kind of connection or crossover is instantly like way fucking cooler. The game can totally fucking suck. It doesn't matter. But now it became this thing where it's like, I don't know if this story I'm thinking of where someone had the same game, but it was something similar where it had a little plastic thing and you'd scan barcodes, and one of my like classmates in elementary school had brought it into school, and they were like showing us this, and so we were trying to find barcodes as like fifth graders or some shit. Trying to scan whatever we could for it. Then it's like, okay, we can't find it. Let's try drawing barcodes. So we all had our notebooks out, trying to draw a barcode that it would recognize. Did not work. And then someone's like, "Oh, like I'll take it home and like I want to scan all the stuff like in my closet." Blah blah blah. Like, shit was so fucking cool. We were all stupid excited over it.
So I remember what toy that was because it had commercials that would play during like Saturday morning cartoons, like before Digimon or after Digimon, one of the
That's
two.
a good spot to put that shit in.
But I remember seeing it and being like, oh, this looks cool, but also never getting one.
Yeah.
Looking from afar, I was like, that's cool.
Oh, I remember these things. I think I had one of these.
I've seen one called...
Wait, maybe I
I've
didn't.
seen one called Scanners. That might have been
I think Scanners is the one that I had.
Yeah.
Barcode Battlers.
Barcode Battlers.
Barcode Battlers. The tagline is Commerce Conflict.
Yo!
That's really good. It wasn't Barcode Battlers. Was the one that I saw. I think it might have been the Scanners one. I'm trying to find like pictures of it.
This is so fucking cool.
Sorry, listeners.
Yeah,
we're all
Yeah.
going
looking
into
at
like
Scanners
this
right
whole
now.
era of toys.
It was Scanners. That was the one. And the reason it struck me is because Scanners are designed the same way as Season 4 Digimon Digivices.
Ah.
Yeah.
By the way, listeners, if you're interested in looking this up, it's spelled SKANNERZ. Not like an actual scanner. It's spelled like the fucking era that it came out in would normally spell it.
It's definitely...
It's spelled like the 90s.
It's spelled like the 90s,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like how there's one that's bigger than the rest, and it's called the Scanner's Commander.
I love that. God damn it.
This is a magic era, really. I mean, it's one of those things that I don't think you would ever get something like this growing up now. Like to have like a chunky peripheral that you remember. There's a reason that we remember these things so many years later, because they were so evocative, and we built memories around them that were just outside of the actual content itself. It was building, I guess, kind of like a game outside of a game. I guess Pokemon Go is pretty close.
Pokemon Go is really cool when you look at how the community actually like has like discords and community groups where they actually like work together, and how they strategize, where it's like, all of us from this specific team will hit this raid, so we get the raid bonus because we're all the same team. And it's so interesting, like how that community like grew to take it seriously.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about mine real quick, and I've been kind of fucking like itching to go. But the game that I kind of wanted to talk about is something that's like super out there that I was also like really love and respect. It's a game called El Shaddai: Ascension of the Metatron. It came out on PS3.
Enoch.
Yes. Sorry, I got very excited that there was anyone who knew what the fuck I was talking about.
I know about like the dev history of that game and how wild it is.
Oh, see, that's something I'm not super keyed into, so I definitely want to hear a bit about that.
Yeah.
But this is actually based on the Book of Enoch, which is one of the... God, this is where some of my memory is going to be getting a little spotty. I don't... Okay, Wikipedia. Here we go. It's the apocryphal Book of Enoch, which I believe is out of Judaism. So it's based in this biblical apocalypse story, essentially, where Enoch, a scribe seeking 7 fallen angels to prevent a great flood from destroying mankind. He's helped in his quest by Lucifer, who is someone who is dressed real sharp and is constantly on a cell phone talking to God.
He has designer jeans.
He looks good.
They sold... So, as a side tangent, I'm sorry to bust in, but the designer jeans were sold as a collab in Japan.
I believe it.
You could buy Lucifer's designer jeans, and they were mad expensive, but they also apparently did sell relatively well.
I believe it. He looks fucking good. Oh yeah, someone who worked on the game. So development was led by someone who previously worked as an artist and character designer on Devil May Cry, Okami, and one of the Fatal Frame games. So there's this weird, like, kind of pedigree woven in here. But the game, what really stands out to me isn't just like the subject matter, but it's the way that the game looks. And I hate to say it, but I really cannot do justice to the way this game looks. I'm just gonna post a screenshot in Yace Media real quick, just to give an idea of what this looks like. And this might be a very early screenshot. Like I don't even know at this point. But the game has this. I can't describe the way it looks. I cannot find the words for it. But it is so fucking unique. It is so unlike most other things that I've seen that it commands my interest and my attention. Oh, there was sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go for it.
I was going to say, so I'm finding out, and this is something I found out very recently. There was a kind of sequel-ish. There's a follow-up game that came out in 2017 called The Lost Child that came out on PS4, Vita, and Switch. I don't believe I've heard great things about it, but I'm curious enough to give it a shot anyway.
If I remember correctly, that game was actually published by Nisa, but I don't remember if it was good or how they would have translated it, because Nisa, for a while, their translations were definitely like quality may vary. But what made El Shaddai, why it had such a high pedigree, was when Clover Studios, the studio that worked on Okami and God Hand and Beautiful Joe, stopped being Clover Studios because Capcom let them go. They split, and most of them went to Platinum, but some of them went to work on El Shaddai. So it was most of the art team and stuff like that. But that's why El Shaddai is like this action-based game, where like it's something that very much is up Clover's alley, because it has a lot of ex-Clover devs on it.
That's super fucking cool. Apparently, there's a PC port that's in the works. This was just announced in December of 2020, so it's a recent thing that may actually happen.
That sounds wild, but also would be cool. So people don't have to have a PS3 or 360 to play this game.
I would be very into playing this game on like a next gen graphics card with like a nice ass monitor. That would be dope. I don't want to hog all what's left of our time though, talking about El Shaddai as much as I really want to though. Vince, hitting up with you. What is that one game, TM?
Like a weird game?
Like some kind of either weird or unique game that you just like you want to be yelling about.
I guess people kind of know about this game now, but I played Cookie and Cream back in like college.
Yeah.
The Adventures of Cookie and Cream, which is like a weird like co-op puzzle platformer thing.
Yeah, like one's a bunny and one's a dog?
I saw Rhett yelling about this earlier, but I have no clue what it is.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen a lot about like usually when I see it come up, it's in the context of like, oh, games that'll destroy your friendship, or like games that ended my relationship or whatever. And I don't really get all that. Like, I don't know if that's like real or if that's just goofy internet stuff. But I mean, I thought it was pretty fun. I beat it with my girlfriend back in the day. And it was just, at least at the time, like a really weird... it's a weird game. I don't know how to explain it. It's been a million years since I played it, but I don't really think there are a lot of other games like that.
I respect it. Looking at it, it looks pretty fun.
Yeah. Seems like there's going to be some more homework.
Oh, shit.
Games that ruined our podcast.
It can't be any fucking worse than Dokapon Kingdom. That game actually does destroy friendships, because that game sucks ass. This game...
Do you know the beautiful part?
What's that?
Oh, go on, Morgan. I'm sorry.
I just like Dokapon Kingdom a lot.
I like it too. But do you know there's a new one?
Oh yeah, I saw a thing for it.
It's using underwater... I can't pronounce it, but it's like Utawara... It's a visual novel game. I don't remember. The joke name has always been called Underwater Ray Romano.
Oh, Udawara de Manamano.
Yeah.
Udawara de Man. Yeah, you know, Underwater Ray Romano.
Underwater Ray Romano. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, but it's Dokapon Kingdom with those characters. So like...
Oh, that's sick. I actually kind of love all those characters.
Yeah, I think it'll bait people into it. Be like, yo, I love this series. I'll play this with my friends, and then...
Oh my god. I'm just looking at the name right now. I fucking found it. Yeah, I get why people are calling it Underwater Ray Romano. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you try to say the actual name for it, it sounds like Underwater Ray Romano. And then people ran with that. Yeah, I played... Go on. I don't want to talk about Underwater Ray Romano. But what's her face? The super strong attacker girl who is an alcoholic and suplexes the main character during their sex scene. Best girl.
She's playable in Aquapaza.
No, that's no, it's what's her face? The
is it the other alcoholic?
Knight. Yeah, it's the other alcoholic that's playable. It's the sword alcoholic, not the club alcoholic.
Oh, okay.
It's important.
Important lore.
Oh god, every one of these characters is just a VTuber.
It all comes back to VTubers every fucking time.
They have that like soft anthropomorphic element. Every single one of them does. Of like they got ears and a tail, and it's like every single one of these characters is a VTuber. Except for Ray Romano.
Are people who play Mikote in Final Fantasy XIV, does that count as being a VTuber?
According to the if you just look at scab commissions and the races of people that commission art of their character, yes.
As soon as you
Wow.
started saying that, I was like, yes, I know the answer. I think that's a good spot to wrap it up with. All Mikote players are actually VTubers. Thank you so much for listening to episode 36. Thank you once again to Captain Riven for joining us tonight. You can find me on Twitter at I almost forgot what my Twitter is, at Lamo_SD. Been a long day, baby. Morgan, where can people find you?
People can find me at Twitter and Twitch at Morganization13. Like I said, I'm streaming The Missing now, which I might be done with by the time that we get done. But we'll see what I stream next. Might be Doom 2016. Might be Fallout New Vegas. Might be something new and exciting.
Who knows?
You never know. I got a new art project in the works, so keep an ear out for that.
Hella. Vince, what about you?
Twitter is snooze2718. I guess you could follow that if you want to.
Right on. And Captain Riven, where can the people find you?
Twitter at Captain Riven, and I do stream at Twitch, Captain Riven as well. I just stream a lot of dumb retro games and sometimes Guilty Gear.
Hell yeah. That's all you need in life. Dumb retro games and Guilty Gear.
Yeah,
I really enjoy your streams. I'm just going to throw that out there
Same.
as well.
I appreciate it.
I think you're really chill and really fun to watch.
That's what I wanna set up. I just want chill vibes, or me suffering in a bad video game.
Yeah, I think
One
the
of
first
the
thing I ever watched you stream was Grabbed by the Ghoulies. And my first thought was just like, why? Why are you doing this to yourself?
So it sounded like a good idea because it was a horror game-ish during Halloween, and then about 30 minutes into the game, I realized I had made a terrible mistake.
Yeah. All right, that's all time we have for today. Again, thank you all for listening to us. Thank you to everyone who's been on. Morgan, Vince, Riven, appreciate y'all. We'll be back at you again next week or maybe the week after. Who knows? Time's fucking weird. But stay good, stay beautiful. Buy yourself a damn shirt. Yace.world. Look good. Get yourself a whole damn stock of Yace fits for when we can finally go back to tournaments. You don't want to go back to tournaments wearing that same like bust ass like Hanes undershirt you've been wearing all this time like I do. Nah, go back looking fucking fresh as hell. Get you a Yace tank. Get you one of the Angel tanks. Looks fucking good. That's all I got. And hopefully I will see you there at those majors when they start up again. Until next time, take it easy.